Well, and one point that you just mentioned there that I think we really need to expand on is how it benefits the workplace, how it affects the workplace, how what by providing psychological safety, what are you actually getting in return, right? What is the benefit of that, or what is the outcome attached with that? And we talk about psychological safety is one of the core foundational pieces of our workplace culture hierarchy, and it's the second stage. So once you have met your legal and industry compliance, and you're moving beyond that basic legal minimum, the next thing on the hierarchy that you need to look at is psychological safety. And it is a foundation for everything that comes after inclusion, engagement, and strive. And psychological safety is something that is very, very commonly missed. We often jump straight into trying to create inclusion or creating engagement without providing for psychological safety first. And the what you get, the benefit that you receive from providing for psychological safety is you have a workforce that is now comfortable and confident to speak up. People are will be more willing to share ideas. They will participate in better or more often in meetings. Uh, Discourse in general. I like the phrase that you used, Kobe, of it's about professional discourse, because discourse in general is a very, very good thing. It's very healthy. And the way that you get healthy discourse is by having a diversity of perspectives, having different people with different viewpoints, being able to carry on a conversation without fear of judgment, where you can work through some of these topics and ideas, and that very frequently leads to new innovations. There is a tremendous amount of benefit that comes from being able to engage, being able to ask questions, being able to engage and have that conversation, that discourse, without fear that people are going to think that you're stupid, that people are, that your colleagues are going to tease you for the comments that you made, or your manager is going to think that you're an idiot for asking a particular question. That's one of the core aspects of it. And that ability, that feeling of being able to engage that way is foundational to creating inclusion.
Absolutely. And I mean, and what happens when that kind of environment exists is that it starts to build trust amongst people, and it allows people to kind of have a sense of kind of freedoms in their workplace to be able to, again, freedom to speak out, but freedom to fail, and freedom to
Yes.
kind of use a professional judgment. And it creates a more empowering environment when you have the, like, again, the culture and the leadership reinforcing that culture where it normalizes people speaking their mind. Now, we should say one of the problems is that psychological safety kind of goes against some very traditional old school thinking of the workplace, especially when you look at things like authoritarian style leadership,
Yeah.
when the boss is the infallible, all-knowing person and you as the lowly serf can't speak against them. That kind of workplace has no psychological safety. And if the leader requires that kind of follow my orders and do as you're told, then I can't imagine a way that they could actually build that in their workplace. If, so it really does require the leadership to see the value in having the employees have the voice to speak up. Because one thing that's really, really funny, or like hard, well, actually, it's more hard to imagine, is why is it that there's this quest for talent, innovation, ideas, perspectives, and you bring these people in, you recruit them, and then you pay them well, and then you tell them to shut up and do as they're told.
Show up and shut up.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that is happening, and that happens now in 2022. And it's such a mind-blowing thing. And this is why we're like, well, psychological safety has a lot of value. And part of it is listen to the experts that you've brought in and you're paying to give you their judgment, their expertise. And that requires some confidence in your ability to lead, because as a leader you need to be willing to be wrong and be willing to listen to others. You need to be willing to change your mind and be willing to fail. And that is a required thing that has to happen. So a big part of how you build psychological safety kind of has to really be leadership led.
It absolutely is. It is a top-down initiative, and it has to be that way because it's something that you provide to people, and it really does depend on leadership. I want to make one clarifying point or one add to something that you said, because I don't want to give the impression that the only place for psychological safety is in environments that have high knowledge work, or that are very technical, or because you use the phrase of, you're hiring these highly specialized skill sets, which is absolutely true. And it's like, that is stupid to pay people high salaries, highly skilled professionals, and tell them to just shut up and do their job. But it matters everywhere. One core foundation, like if there's one thing I could teach leaders to get and understand, is that if you want to create improvements in your workplace, talk to your frontline staff, talk to the people who are doing the job day in and day out, because guaranteed they will tell you, they will have ideas of how the job can be done better. They're doing it all the time, right? But if you do not provide for that psychological safety, if you put on airs, if you are the type of leader who says, I am the boss, you do your job and leave the important stuff to me, you're not going to get that feedback that really can help your organization.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, because you're right, it's the at any position, any person in any position can have an idea of improvement. Maybe it's a matter of, why are we putting the displays of soup in the supermarket aisle here when it might go over there? Like, even as simple as that, being able to share that opinion without the manager going, whoa, it's my way or the highway, what are you doing? Any kind of environment that allows for anyone to kind of say, I've got an idea, I have an opinion, oh no, I can't, I made a mistake, I have to hide that. There's this, I think what it kind of comes down to is there's this almost like unspoken expectation that people have to be infallible. And that's kind of where a lot of this lack of psychological safety comes from, both from the manager. I'm the boss, so I have to be this all-knowing, infallible person. So a challenge to me is hurting my brand of infallibility I have to have as a leader, all the way down to, well, I can't make a mistake. If I share an idea and I'm wrong, then my infallibility is going to be challenged, and I can't do that. I think that's kind of at the heart of what it is, that the air that we put on.